Welcome to New Stripe City, a podcast for diehard fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and I am here to break down our external coaching candidates. If you haven't seen my first video, it was on the internal candidates for the head coaching position. Make sure you check that out. External is a little bit more fun, and we kind of get to think about the possibilities of guys that could come in from the outside. So I also have a list here for that, and we'll start with obviously the number one guy who everyone probably wants, Hugh Jackson. Obviously, Hugh Jackson was offered the head coaching wedding spot here a couple of years ago after 2015. He has a relationship with all the players. They loved him. Seems like they had a better relationship with him than Marvin Lewis when he was here. He fixed the offense. He fixed Andy Dalton. He would be an ideal guy for us to get. The only thing is he's currently under contract with the Browns. Obviously, he's an offensive-minded coach. He also seems to have the backing of the Browns ownership. So in order for anything to happen with Hugh, obviously they would have to move on from him. Now, from what I've been reading and hearing out there, at first the new GM for the Browns wasn't backing Hugh, but he recently just came out yesterday, a few days ago, and said that ownership has backed Hugh as the coach, and it seems like Hugh will be the coach. Obviously, if they go 0-16, that could change, but it seems like for now that his job is safe. So I'm not sure exactly how close it would be to us getting him. And as a head coach, he's been 9-37. But I wouldn't really hold much of that against him. Obviously, when he was with the Raiders, he had to make a trade with us to bring in Carson Palmer after Jason Campbell went down, and they actually were off to a pretty good start. And I think they made the playoffs or got close to the playoffs. It was something like that. I don't know if they made it or not that year when they traded and got Carson, but they were pretty decent, and then the next year they sucked and they got rid of him. And then the Browns are just gonna Brown, so you can't really blame Hugh for that. But I think Hugh's gonna stay there. So even though he's probably one of the most ideal candidates for this team, it's not for certain on whether he's actually gonna be available. And another guy that brings me to after that is gonna be Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden, his name has been bounced out there, and obviously, he's the guy that recommended that we draft Andy Dalton. He was our offensive coordinator before Hugh was there. He has that relationship with AJ and Andy, would be an offensive coach that could come in and help get this offense back on track and his team back on track. But the thing is, he's also under contract with the Redskins. So it would basically take the Redskins eating the last 2 years of his contract and pulling the trigger on him, which I don't think that's going to happen. Even with the Redskins having a down year, I don't think that Jay Gruden will be out. So then let's talk about our last guy who's under contract, who could possibly be another guy that the Bengals could go after, and that's Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien has 12 years coaching experience. He's 31-31 as a head coach, 1-2 in the postseason. And an interesting thing about him is he's also offensive-minded, but spent 2007 through 2011 with the Patriots. And he seems to be a pretty good coach just from what we see. And it seems like he's just had the bad luck of not having that quarterback. He got that quarterback in Deshaun Watson this year, but then Deshaun Watson got hurt. And so it's just seemed like he's kind of had, like us, bad luck. But I think Bill O'Brien would be a good option here. If he is available, I think there will be a lot of teams that would be interested in him. So keep your eyes on him. Let's also talk about, since we talked about Patriots coordinators, you can't not talk about Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is probably going to be the most sought-after coach to hit the market. So for those reasons, I don't think it's as realistic that the Bengals will be able to bring him in. He was 11-17 as a head coach. He has 16 years of NFL experience, 5-time Super Bowl champ. So he's definitely got a pretty decent resume. But I'm not sure, like, if he has his choice, if Cincinnati would be his choice, because other places he may get, more control over, his personnel and things of that nature, which could be a disaster. And that's one of the things that I kind of say when it comes to any Patriots, like, coaching staff member. I'm always wary of the Bill Belichick factor, where he makes guys look better than they really are. But Josh McDaniels would also be a guy who could come in and breathe life into this offense. So those are guys that are under contract. Guys that aren't under contract that could be considered. I think you look at a guy that could potentially leave and would possibly be a good option for the Bengals would be Todd Haley. Now, before you sign everything like that, Todd Haley, this is why Todd Haley makes sense. He's been an NFL head coach before. This guy went 10-6 with Matt Castle as his quarterback. I think he went 7-9, and then he had a horrible year, and that was the reason why he got fired. But the reason that it would make sense for the Bengals to do that is because you could weaken one of your division opponents. So you take away the offensive coordinator from the Squealers, and you bring him in, and you also fix your offense at the same time. He's a great offensive mind. Pittsburgh, as much as we hate them, they have finished in the top 10 offense statistically like the past couple of years now. He's the guy that's responsible for transforming them from a run-heavy team to just like a high-flying attack that they have over there. So I think that Todd Haley would be a guy that you could bring in. He would be offensive-minded. He would be able to come in and retool the offense. And I feel like I'm getting repetitive, but a lot of these guys are offensive, so he wouldn't be a bad option either. You also have Detroit, who has Jim Bob Cooter, a guy who came in and retooled their offense after Calvin Johnson left and has worked miracles with Matt Stafford. He's another guy whose name is being tossed around. You obviously have Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. You also have Jim Mora. So these are guys and names that I would expect to be tossed around. Unfortunately, Jeff Fisher's out there. Let's hope that they don't go after a guy like him. And I don't want to mention Vance Joseph, but I can. Vance Joseph is in that same line as far as Hugh and Jay Gruden. He's under contract. Yeah, he's got a previous relationship with the Bengals, but he's under contract. Mike Brown absolutely loves him. I think if he were available, I think him and Hugh would be the top two options if they were both available. But other than that, let me know who you guys think could be some external candidates that the Bengals would pursue and make a head coach. In terms of college, I'm not going to really get into the whole college thing. I don't really watch much college, to be honest with you. I don't know much about the coaching situations. I don't know about the contracts. So, I can throw out some names, but I like to keep things realistic, and I don't think these names are realistic, but I'll go ahead and throw out Urban Meyer as a guy that could possibly, be pursued, but I doubt it. I doubt that Mike Brown's going to match the money. Jim Harbaugh, that's really my ideal candidate and who I would really want them to go after, but I don't think that Mike Brown is going to pony up the money to pay the $7 or $8 million, whatever it is a year, to get Harbaugh there. And then when you think about it, Harbaugh kind of clashed with the 49ers front office and GM, so I'm not sure how that will work here. But yeah, those are my external candidates. Please comment, subscribe, like this video. Let me know who you guys think should be the external candidate that the Bengals should go after. And as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.